All right, so as part of our day, we have also the learning part. But I need to tell you a short story, a personal one. So I'm born in Romania, in Bucharest, and when I was born, it was actually communism back then, right? So I grew up in a quite poor family, because everyone was poor back then. But there were at least some people that seems to do a lot better than the others. So as a child, I kept on thinking, what are they doing differently, right? Because, yeah, they are still humans. It's not like they are robots or something. So that was a question that I had in my mind ever since I was a child. I won't tell you the answers that I got when I grew up, because that is why we hired a professional speaker and an expert in this area to help us and tell us the secret. What are the top 1% do different? What do they do different than the rest of us? And how about we do the same so that we can climb up and become one of them? So let us welcome on the stage Vikas Jain. He's an author, he's a speaker, he's an expert in this area. So Vikas, thank you so much for being here. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you, Vikas. Enjoy.
I'm Vikas Jain.
Good morning, everyone. Can I have my sound, please? Yes. It's a great event, and a very unique event. Very unique because I have been delivering programs at sales meet, leaders meet, every other type of meet, but I think it's the DNA of HP that differentiate and inspire people to conduct this kind of program. So although my topic says what top 1% do differently, but the interesting thing is, the audience in this room are actually among the top 1% in the HP, and that's why you are here. So clap for yourself. And we will learn technique that how we can grow it further. But before that, to become successful in anything or everything, first and foremost important thing is E. And what is that E? E is for energy, right? The way we communicate to the people around us, the way we interact with the system around us, we get the same kind of outcome. Yes, no, maybe? In the same manner, so let's start with a dance, but a dance of clap. My hand will be the volume bar for you. As it moves up, the sound of clap will go up. As it moves down, the sound will go down. And then we'll dance with that clap only. So can you start clapping for me? Is it the best of HP? Can we do it better? And it's going still. Is it the best, ma'am? This is the best. You can do it better. Yes. You can do it better. Do as if you are going to become the 1% today itself. Yeah? You can do it better. Thanks. So that's the kind of energy that we need into the room to become, so that if somebody peeps into the room and they see, okay, people are talking about top 1%. If we are saying, top 1%? Can we get top 1% with this body language? Definitely not, right? So let's understand what top 1% do differently. And the interesting thing is, my name is Vikas Jain. The Vikas in Sanskrit means, what does it mean? Vikas in Sanskrit means growth and development. So many of my findings are having that name Vikas, how it can help you become and develop yourself as a top 1% leader, and definitely brand me indirectly, right? You have attended branding classes, yes? Yes? So it's important to brand yourself as well. Going further, when we are doing certain things, when we are changing the way we are doing things, in the industry, the epitome for anything which is very complex is rocket science. It's such an example that whenever we want to say that it's very complex, we say it's rocket science. And if we want to say it's not that complex, it's not rocket science. For that field, which is considered as one of the best, the most difficult, the most complex, one of the leading industry is SpaceX. And who is the chief engineer of that company? The founder, Elon Musk, who grown to the level of becoming the second richest man in the world. Just imagine for yourself. Think of the number of digits that you have in your bank account right now. And what would it take to become the richest in the world? How many more digits you need to have? What is that? You need dollars. Oh. So just imagine a person who is like us, a human being, grown to level, become the richest in the world, chief engineer of that company, SpaceX, which is into rocket science. And he started learning rocket science later in the second half of his career. After selling PayPal to the company, he started SpaceX. Just imagine. Doesn't it give you the goosebumps? Later in your career, you started reading rocket science and you are the chief engineer of one of the most innovative rocket science company in the world, and you go on to become the richest in the world in the second half of your career. And if that's possible, how we can learn the best things from these kind of people, these kind of leaders. So history is filled with such leaders who grown and developed themselves to become the best in their life. But what happened to us? When you were a kid, you must be having really big dreams. Yes, no, maybe? Yes, no, maybe? Little louder. Yes. But as we grow further, yeah? Even now. As we grow further, for some of you, we have started dividing those dreams into practical and impractical dreams. Yes, no? Naturally, it started happening, okay, it was a kiddish dream, not possible anymore, but this is possible, so I just focus on that part. What if I give you that option to, just for the session today, open up your mind and even consider what is even the biggest dream possible for you, just for the session today. Now, I'm using the word 1% leaders. So is it only for the people who are leading the team, the senior most people? No, it's not. When we are saying leaders, we also mean innovators. We also mean thought leaders. We also mean individual contributors. So whatever is your position in your company right now, you are for sure going to inspire 100 other people, 1,000 other people, few thousand to do the best the way you are doing it. So you are in a leader in yourself. You don't need a position to become a leader in that sense. So what they are doing differently, or if I ask, how to be in your industry's top 1%? How many of you have this inspiration to become top 1% in your industry, not just in your company, in your industry? By show of your hand. That's most of the room. But still, there were some people. Is there any doubt if somebody who did not raise the hand, is there any doubt why they do not want to become top 1% in the industry? Some of you did not raise the hand. Anyone? Any thought? Not right now? Okay. When I ask this question to people, I think there is a follow-up question that starts coming to my mind. Questions like, who is top 1% in my industry? Because in a day-to-day basis, I'm just interacting with few leaders in my company, few senior-most folks in my organization, but your professional excellence is beyond your organization, which means who is top 1% in your industry? Do we know how to become the top 1%? Lot of good things were talked before my session. It is important to focus on your skill, deliberate practice, many such things. But do we actually know the secret to become the top 1%? And even if we know, what are we doing today to become the top 1%? I started asking these questions to myself. And first and foremost, why to pursue top 1%? Why do you want to become top 1%? Any one of you? You can take the mic and respond. Let's have the conversation, right? Let's not have it in a monologue manner. Let's have the conversation. Why do you want to become top 1%? Anyone? Just raise your hand and somebody will get you the mic. Okay, we have two hands raised, yeah. Can somebody just quickly get them the mic, yeah.
So, means first thing, I don't have that much of ambitions to be the 1%, but if I get a chance to go up into the ladder, and if I happen to be there in the 1%, I wanted to bring more human angle towards the development thing. That's what, I feel that, somewhere I feel that maybe something is going in a mechanical format, and there I wanted to contribute as a human, how we grow as a human and achieve all those sustainable goals and all that.
Yeah, so why to become top 1%? Because you see, you can add more human angle to the top 1% zone. Big clap for him. Is it the louder clap? We can do better, right, HP? We can do better. Before Pratik start, I was just thinking of an acronym. I was seeing the logo HP, and all of us are user of HP. If in that millennial generation, they would want a short form of happy, I thought they would write HP only. Happy, HP, right? So we want to imbibe that vibe within us that when we are saying HP, we are from HP, what should we feel like? Happy. So let's bring up that energy and even a bigger round of applause for him, right? The way he answered. We can do better. Yeah, thank you. Pratik, please go ahead.
Yeah, it is my thought and my reason is that first you feel good about yourself, that you have made something out of yourself, and you are contributing to others' life also. Second, you become wealthy and you increase your bank balance.
So every aspect, you have the innermost aspect and the outermost aspect. Well, big round of applause for him as well. Yeah. Good. Anyone else? Last one. Yeah. Please share the mic with him. That table at that area is having more energized people. Is it something like that?
Yeah.
What is that? Magnets. So, yeah, please go ahead.
So the key thing what I would see in that 1%, the key thing is that energy level and confidence. The leaders on that 1% zone, right? The recent visit of one of our, president, actually, Greg Baxter, was there in India. And I was not part of the talk, by the way, but still I could able to hear from my colleagues. And everybody was talking about him. Because he was completely differentiating from others, and that's because of his high energy level and confidence. So that's the thing which I would like to develop, and I would like to be that 1% there. That's what is motivating me.
Good, great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. You talked about energy level. Isn't that what's happening on a daily basis? When I push you, do like this, and then you start even more. But without that external push, I'm like this only. Just observe, whatever I'm saying right now, Just observe what you are doing right now. There is a 10,000 hour rules. As per that, you get to become the master in your field after spending 10,000 hours. But I'm saying you something different. Every second and every moment is giving you that opportunity to take the pathway of a 1% or the average. Every second is giving you that opportunity. Every second, the way you respond to my question, every second, the way you interact in the session, every second, whether you are keeping notes or not, every second is counted, whether you want to become 1% or want to become an average. Why to pursue top 1%? One of my mentor, Les Brown, said, there is a richest place on this earth. As per you, what could be the richest place on the earth? Any thoughts? Quick, just shout it loud. What could be the richest place on the earth? Mind? Heart? What was that? Casino. Oh, so we know few plans after this what will happen, right? What is that? Tirupati. Les Brown said, quote, the richest place on this earth is graveyard. Because you will find so many innovations, ideas, and dreams that have never been worked upon. Why to become top 1%? Is for you. You have some big dreams for the country, for yourself, for your family. Don't average out them with your current knowledge. You can always grow beyond yourself. Work on yourself and start dreaming big. That's one of the most important aspects of becoming anything. When Starbucks was not doing well, their CEO came on board, turnaround story happened, and then he wrote this book. But what I like the most about the subtitle, not the title, the subtitle, which says, Onward, how Starbucks fought for its life without losing its soul. It's not just the spiritual world. What he was talking about, what is your higher purpose and what is the higher purpose of your organization? And can we combine the both? We all know, for any company to run, definitely they have to be profitable. But that's not their higher purpose, to be profitable. Their higher purpose is something different, which is hidden their values, mission, vision, statement. Can we combine the company's higher goal into our higher goals and see if there is a match? Because then only you can perform at the extraordinary level if you want to grow yourself. Yes, no, maybe? All with me? Right? Now, when we are doing this, when we are going to the higher level, we say, what about the dreams? The dreams of the people. Just a second. You have a card with you. It is on your table, a card from me. There are 4 things. I want you to write down something. On the first point, you will see there is written top 1% vision. If you go beyond your own constraint that have been created with your mind, what is that 1% vision that you have for yourself? What is that big dream that is possible? Just take another 1 minute to write down what is the biggest dream that you want to have for yourself, you want to achieve in your life, biggest dream possible. And if your practical mind is kicking in, just silent it for a few seconds. Let me dream big. Just say to your practical mind that let me dream big for another 1.5 hours. Let's not constrain yourself with it's not practical, it's not possible, I'm gone beyond the age, I'm not having the right degree, whatever. Just make that logical mind stop for a few seconds and just allow your big mind, higher purpose, to fly free in this world. Have you written something? Right? Take just 1 minute and shake hand with someone who is sitting with you. Shake hand with someone who is sitting with you. Shake hand with any one person who is sitting with you. Yeah. And first of all, look into their eyes and say, you can achieve it. While shaking hand, just say to them, you can achieve it. And then read the goal. See this, ma'am? She is saying, hello, ma'am. Before saying you can achieve it, she show me first your goal. Then only I'll say whether you can achieve or not. No, that's not the logic. And quickly spend another 1 minute to exchange that dream with you. Why that dream? What is behind that dream? Why do we want to achieve that dream? And this card is going to stay with you. You can carry it back home so that you know what you have written. Throughout the day also, when you are exchanging thought with others, you can start with what is your big dream. In the morning, you must have written big dream for yourself. Let's move forward because definitely I have touched a chord, dreams. Every one of us has big dreams and we want to talk a lot about it, but you will have a lot of time. Moving forward, what differentiates 99% from the 1%? When I'm talking about dreams, what I've seen, the 99% will only think about the logical things. So they will get settled with what is practical. Yeah? But for 1%, they will strive to pursue the impractical dreams. And when you strive to pursue the impractical dreams, then only big inventions can happen, innovations can happen, and a person or a company like Tesla, SpaceX can be formed. If you look at the history of HP and look at the history of entrepreneurs, how they started it, will you find the 99% DNA or the 1% DNA? Why the company got started and when there were tough time, how it sailed through the tough time. Only the 1% mindset can strive and go beyond that. Talking about the financial, I talked about the wealth. If you look at the 99%, they are moderately paid. But if you look at the 1%, they are actually the highest paid people in the world. They are kind of like, and you could see, as a speaker, as any professional, when I look at the highest getting paid profession, who is getting highest paid, they are like 1,000 times, 10,000 times. And I always ask this question, what are they doing differently? They are human beings like me. They must have started somewhere 10, 15 years ago. Can I spend my next 10, 15 years ago differently? When we are thinking of developing our career, what can we do differently? Talking about the recognition, how is the recognition? For the 99%, I have seen the recognition is mostly like limited to the team or the company, right? Their team know them or their company know them. But for the 1%, they represent the nation. They are getting the highest possible civilian awards that one can achieve in their lifetime. Talking about the innovation, 99% follows what others have created. And what 1% do? What do they do? That's right. They actually create and lead the industry. That's what differentiates them. So on a daily basis, whenever you are doing any activity, when you are shaking hand with somebody, when you are going to talk to some people today itself, just observe yourself. Am I going by the traits of 1%? Or am I going by the traits of 99%? Because throughout this session, I'm going to keep on differentiating what differentiates 1% and 99%. Why I could talk a lot about this thing? Because many incidents happened. I started from a government school, that too in Hindi medium, my native language. And when I got the offer from Microsoft, I had so many instances that gave me that insight about the potential of the human being, that how many things are possible. For example, there was a school for meritorious students, Pratibha Vikas Vidyalaya in Delhi. As an average person, I was thinking, it's too big for me. I should not even apply. My brother came to me and he said that, Vikas, at least apply. What will it harm you if you just apply, right? Let me reject it, but at least apply. I applied in that school and I got selected. What if I would not have applied? Same thing with you. How many instances there was a project, critical project, some complex project, and you yourself kept out of that project, saying it's too complex for me, it's beyond my skill set. What if you could have at least applied for it, person have reviewed your profile, you could have been selected. Just imagine. So don't keep yourself out of the success situation on your own. My further journey transformed when I got into IBM and then got into McAfee. When I got into McAfee acquired a small tech startup with the name SolidCore. While working in SolidCore, I got so many new insights about how people do differently. Because in large organization, we are mostly having people who are coming from elite institution, at least at the top leadership level, because that's how the hiring happens. But when I was working in SolidCore, I saw people who are coming from average institutions, but now their performance is like 1%. And I was curious to know. For 4 years, I was living my day in, day out with them. And I could see the difference in the average versus 1%. And I got so curious, I started imbibing those things, everything that you talked about, skills, how to upgrade yourself, positive mindset. I kept doing all those things. And that led me to the offer from Microsoft. I had two choices. First, the obvious one, take the offer. It's a large organization, global organization, great culture. Or the second one. I thought, I did not know this earlier, the things I got to know right now. I can keep on moving in my career. What if I can go out and talk to other people who might not have the similar kind of knowledge and share with them what 1% do differently? So what I would have done? I denied the offer from Microsoft and actually started sharing those insights with the world. I discovered a quadrant, which I'll talk about in detail, and started sharing that idea with people. There are videos on channel like Josh Talk with millions of views, programs, national, international program. And when everything is happening, I found one more difference. I started studying about high performance, what differentiate. You must have read about high performance, some books, some videos, right? Most of such research happened on the athletic world or the artistic world. Yes, no, maybe? You will find most stories about athletics, some Olympian were there, how he struggled or how she struggled, and then how they transformed their life. But what I realized is that while working in corporate, the life of a corporate person is a bit different from an athletic person. At least the benchmark. For a game, the benchmarks are well established. Yes, no, maybe? You have to run in one single line and you have to run the fastest, but that's not true with our complex world, because in industrial world, things are changing very rapidly. You can't easily define your 10,000 hours. What is that one skill that you will focus upon? So what I started doing, I started actually researching on other people, the world-class professionals and leaders, that what they are doing differently. I interviewed them, and the bigger vision came that the system that we know, most of the time whenever some conversation is happening, people talk about the education system. Yes, no, maybe? And it's not just Indian, I think it's a global concern. Like there are various TED Talk, Robert Kiyosaki talking, many other people talking about that education need a different kind of enhancement. So I started talking about till what time we keep on cribbing about the system, that what is the education system, what is the skill development system. Let's start defining the new system, and that's begin the journey of Vikas system. That can we have a system which is for top 1%? If you think you have the high potential, you develop that thing and grow further. What I'll do, let's take a quick feedback. So we actually started building a system here where, oops. So the app you are seeing is actually built by my team. I thought when we are doing so many things, what if we have our own application which is designed for myself? And we came up with this app where we can have the live audience poll. Now, for you to test it, you can just take out your mobile phone, scan it through your WhatsApp. You just need to open your WhatsApp directly. There is a camera icon there. You scan that QR code from the camera itself. And then what you have to do, you have to prefix your name with some adjective. For example, I have written world-class Vikas. That's for me. You will find a text written on your WhatsApp, just press enter, and then you can write something interesting for you. Your first name, prefix it with some adjective. Some of you should be able to do it, yes? Number is invalid? Is it working for others? Yeah? So after pressing enter, you have to write something. Your first name prefixed with some adjective. Just write something and it should start coming up here. So Shivanand, the learner, we are saying, yeah? So we are getting few more now. Excellence, Bila, Sai new, right? Happy Gayatri, Killer Karthik. Oh, who is Killer Karthik? Oh my God. That's what our first feature, how to take the live interaction from the users. And I'll be using throughout my session for different things. You can keep writing. You will just get one chance. You can't edit it again or redo it. So whatever is done on the first end itself, it will be entered. You have this QR code scanned. I'll move ahead. You can keep typing your details there. We have learned new things while getting to the stage that we are. I was having a conversation with Marshall Goldsmith once. He was in Delhi, and I was inspired by the title of the book itself. What got you here won't get you there. You have applied certain best practices to get to the position where you are right now. But the same thing will not help you to the career the HP want for you to become the top 1% in your field. You need to transform yourself to get there. So what you are doing differently to get there? And people will talk about people resist change. Yes, no, maybe? We must have heard this statement, especially people who are leading others. We have seen people resist the change. But in my experience, it's only the 99% who resist the change. The 1% actually lead the change. Yes, no, maybe? You must have worked with such kind of people. For the 1%, it's that hunger for change. They actually want to change. They will budge their manager that this work I have been doing for so long. I want to improve myself. I want to do something differently. Whereas 99%, when given a different assignment, how will I learn new things? What will happen to my career profile? There are so many changes happening. So that's the difference between the 99%. That's why you should pursue to become the top 1%. Any questions so far before I move forward? Okay. Now, how to become top 1%? Whenever I talk to people, people have something this in their mind. When we say becoming top 1%, they will think that they have to go higher in the ladder. Yes, no, maybe? Yes, no, maybe? Bit louder. That's the usual perception that you are in a tier 3 company or a department or a profile. You want to upgrade yourself, and that's how you want your career to grow. You upgrade your department, you upgrade your profile, you upgrade your position so that you get to the top 1%. Yes, this is our understanding. But when I discovered in the industry, the 1% is not like this. There is something secret about it. What is that secret? I'll explain you. What if the industry is not one dimension and there are two dimensions to it? What if the growth is not one dimensional? What if the growth is not one dimension and there are two dimensions to it? If I put on the x-axis your performance, what is there? What is I am putting? Performance. On the y-axis, the popularity. On the x-axis, we have the performance. On the y-axis, we have the popularity. So we have quadrant 1. What is quadrant 1? What is the trait of quadrant 1 leaders? High performance and high popularity. There will be some leaders in your organization who are known to everyone. They are very high on performance. They are the top performer in the industry, in your company, and they are getting the best out of everything. Yes, no, maybe? Yes. Right? So we have certain people, the quadrant 1. Then there are certain other people, the quadrant 2. What is the traits of quadrant 2 leaders? Is he the only one who is getting the quadrant? Hello? Yeah. Low or medium performance and high popularity. Is there some name coming to your mind as well? When I talk to and work with that person, but I've heard a lot about that person. Everyone some people are laughing, which is conveying and getting me the answer, yeah? Right? I'm not asking also. But we can understand, right? So in industry, in every team, there are certain people who are quadrant 2 people, who are not that high on performance side, but they are quite popular, they know everyone, everyone knows them, right? That's the scenario. And then there are quadrant 3. What are the traits of quadrant 3? Such a silent crowd. What is the traits of quadrant 3? Bit louder. Low performance and low popularity. These are the leaders who are low or medium performance, not that high, and low and medium popularity, and quadrant 3. So actually, when I looked at this thing, the tier 1 is this, T1, the tier 2 is this, the T2, I'll mark it with different color, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. But then it exposed me to a different space, open space. Because here I'm seeing that growth means in one dimension. But now when we are dividing the industry into 2 dimensions, performance or popularity, if somebody is saying he or she is top 1%, he is such a great performer or popularity? He is the best in terms of popularity or performance? That's my next question. So what is the trait of this empty box now? High performance, low or medium popularity. That's what I discovered while working in that small company, small tech startup, that there are companies, there are teams within the company. See, I'm coming from IBM. For every external person, IBM is one company. But as you are from HP, you can relate it better. IBM has a research division called IBM Research Lab. Then there was a software division, which is IBM Software Labs, which used to develop the software that IBM delivers. Then there is a division for IBM Global Services, IGS. And then there was a division for call center, right? So there are different divisions within that big one organization. Within your organization also, there will be some departments which are like research lab and then software labs, and which are positioned differently. Yes, no, maybe? Yes. That's a beauty of working in a large organization. You actually don't have to go out of the industry to escalate your career. You can actually start exploring within the organization, where do I want to position myself? So I learned there is this beautiful section of the industry, which is Q4. And I call it secret top 1%. Because people are not talking about it. They are either talking about quadrant 1, quadrant 2, or quadrant 3. And that's how I started this journey, that actually if you divide the industry into quadrant performance and popularity, quadrant 1, tier 1, top 1%, quadrant 2, next 9%, quadrant 3, majority of the people, the 99%. The quadrant 4, what is quadrant 4? Secret top 1%. Because when I talk to people, what they will say, they think that top best are these people because they are high on popularity. They think that these are the best leaders because they are high on popularity. But in my understanding, it's not quadrant 1 and quadrant 2 which is best. If you really want to grow in your career, you should focus on something different, which is these two sides, quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. If you really want to grow, which means it's not about going up. It's more about going right. For you, it's more about going right. Taking the right decision in your career. Taking how you can increase your performance. So majority of my session, and this Vikas system has this foundation, that there is a secret top 1% quadrant. I want people to, for some, at least 1 or 2 years, stop thinking about quadrant 1%. Avoid quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. And solely focus upon secret top 1%. Who is secret top 1% in my industry? On that card itself, try to write what is my profile, my department, who is secret top 1% in your industry, in your company. A person, a leader who is very high on performance, but very few people know that person. Can you write one or two names of such people? Somebody who is in your profile. He or she can be within your organization or some different organization, but not everyone know them. Very few people know them. I'll give you example from my industry to help you understand better. In my industry of corporate speaking, motivational talks, Simon Sinek is quite famous. Yes, no? Who has heard him speaking, right? Right? Everybody know Simon Sinek? Yeah. Other speaker who is quite famous is Tony Robbins, who is doing his individual events, right? But from India, very few people know about Ramcharan. How many of you have read Ramcharan? 1, 2, 3. He's really good. He is coaching one of the top CEOs in the world. Being in my industry, what people will only strive for, oh, I want to become Simon Sinek. Oh, I want to become Tony Robbins. No. First, get in touch with Ramcharan. And I'll explain you why you should do that. Who is secret top 1% in your industry? Have you written any one or two names? Who is secret top 1% in your industry? It's very important to embark on this journey to become top. Otherwise, it will remain only an inspiration. I can talk about work hard, right? Work hard, you will get there. Keep on working on yourself. But in most cases, the growth is like this only. What I'm saying, if you apply the things that I'm sharing in today's session, you can change your growth path to exponential growth. For that, start finding top 1%. If you don't know, that's your area of work. Begin with that thought in mind. Who is secret top 1% in my industry? What he or she is doing differently? And it will change the way you work. Any questions so far? Okay. I'll give you a quick insight on one advanced topic, that this quadrant, instead of a 2x2 matrix, can be converted into a 9-box model. And I'll take your focus to this side only, the quadrant 4. So there can be 3 sections of quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Quadrant 1, high performance and high popularity. Quadrant 4 with high performance and medium popularity. Quadrant 4 with high performance and low popularity. There is a statement, you keep on doing the good work and it will get recognized. Do you agree? Keep on doing the good work and you will get recognition. Do you agree? Yes, no, maybe? Maybe, yeah. And that's right, we have to be maybe. There was quite a famous painter who is famous now, Van Gogh. When he was living, he lived a very miserable life. Nobody was appreciating his painting. When he died, after that people started appreciating his paintings, and now those paintings are sold for multi-million dollars. The Van Gogh section. You are very great. You are a very highly performance person, but very low on popularity, which means not even right audience who can buy you, who can appreciate you, the managers who need your skill set are not aware about your skill set. You have developed a knowledge in artificial intelligence, Gen AI, but you are not telling it to others that I have this knowledge. How will the other person assign you the work? Will we be able to assign? No. So what you have to do, avoid this section of quadrant 4, where you are keep on developing skills but not letting others know that you have that skill. I want you to take this approach. At least let your intended hiring person, the managers, the leaders know I have this skill. I don't want you to be famous from the very first day within the company, that whole organization is knowing about your name, but be at least there. Yeah, it's clear? Yeah. What qualities do they have? If you go back to the same thing, I want you to think of, so you use the same thing. While the same WhatsApp is open, you can again go back to your WhatsApp. What is that one quality in one word that differentiates these top leaders from others? What do you think? What is that one quality? Just try to give answer in just one word. What is that one quality? Go on to WhatsApp and start typing. What is that one quality of these people, these leaders, that differentiate from others? Yeah, let's see what answers have come. I'll go back to the. Something not working, just a second. I'll quickly go back and check again. Okay, so these are the things. Envisioning the future, solve big problems. Who is this person? Is it a one-word answer? But good. So if you look at the quick chart, these are the things that top 1% do differently, are doing differently on a daily basis, as per you, right? And most of you have mentioned mindset and vision is coming out, like most of you have answered that. If you actually want to see, we can actually go and see how many have answered. So mindset given by 2, and then few other things, right? I have a different opinion on that part. What I found out, actually these people, the secret top 1% people are doing 7 things differently. How many things? 7 things. And it's not just the word that they are doing it differently, it's also the magnitude. So let's embark on this journey of what this Vikas system can do for you. The 7 things you have to understand to become the top 1% in your industry. And first and foremost is iceberg. Every one of you have mentioned those one-word answer. Those are many qualities. In my own experience, those qualities are the upper part of the iceberg. That is what visible to most of you. There is something else which is working inside them. When I interviewed them, when I talked to them, when I worked with them, I found out there is one fundamental skill which differentiates these people from others. And because of a lack of word, I called it development engine. You can also say it art of becoming or mastery. What is development engine? Before I came to the stage, there was a session on communication. Communication is very important, and top 1% leaders are very strong on their communication. We have had leaders like Steve Jobs who have been master in delivering talks and communicating ideas. My question is, we are saying they have good communication. What about how did they build good communication? They are very good at team building. Were they born with the skill of team building? So what I want you to take your focus upon is not the skill that they have right now, the visible skills, but the skill that they have which can help them develop any skill that they want. Because if we develop that one skill, which is skill of developing any skill and knowledge, and it's beyond that skill and knowledge, becoming. To become a top 1% performer in your industry, you have to have certain other traits. Yes, no, maybe? You have to work on yourself, and that image is depicting that work. You have to work on yourself. You have to become a different person. That is your development engine. So while doing an activity, I'll give you my example of my son. He is 12 years old. He was given to create an infographic for SDG 5, which is on quality education, Sustainable Development Goal 5 for quality education. He has created a beautiful infographic. Kids these days, right, very good on tech. I actually asked him, explain me, set aside this infographic, explain me what is there in SDG 5. And he could not explain it. The same activity. Because what he did, he Googled the result. What is SDG 5? He got all the information in one quick sense. He has this access to Canva. He has been doing all this graphic designing and things. So he knows how to work on Canva. Just copy-pasted those things on the Canva. The activity is complete. he remained the same. Yes, no, maybe. So while doing the same office activity on a daily basis, you can pass on the information, you can complete the work, but are you changing? What I have seen in this top 1% people, while doing that activity, they always question themselves, am I becoming a better person by doing this an activity? When I was working in Solid Core, there was this person who told me, Vivek, and I was sitting with Vivek, he was doing some troubleshooting, there was some Windows machine that crashed, and he was doing blue dump scanning and analyzing, and he said that, Vikas, if yesterday you took, say, 30 minutes to complete a task, and today also you are taking 30 minutes to complete the same task, there is something wrong with you. If you are the right person, a high-performing person, you should reduce the time to at least 29 minutes, 25 minutes. Daily basis, you should find a way to improve the work that you have done yesterday. The same activity other could have done, have delivered, but following the old practices. These 1% people are always questioning, I have delivered the work, but what I have become during this journey. Are you changing? That development engine is very strong. So just mark that word, art of becoming. While doing that activity, what are you becoming? Are you becoming a different person or not? That's first. There is a beautiful Netflix documentary on Bill Gates. Anybody who has seen this documentary? Inside Bill's mind, 1%, right? That documentary only explains that what is inside his brain, the way he lives his life. It's not about the result that he has achieved. And it talks about his book reading speed is ultra high, the speed with which he reads the book. He is taking 1 week off just to read books. He'll go out, will not do any office activity, nothing. Will do only book reading. And there is no one around him during that time. Just imagine. For most of us, we are not finding time to read books. My friends, when we say we are not finding the time, we are making the choices of 99%. We should know what is important for us as 1% and for 99%. Carrying books to offices, his personal blog. What is the name of personal blog of Bill Gates? Bill Gates is a quadrant 1%. Yes, no, maybe? If there is a quadrant 1%, as a secret quadrant 1% right now, I should follow the 1%. I should be reading his or her work. The personal blog, it's gatesnotes.com. Where he's talking about that the book that he has read, the people that he has met, he's sharing his personal experiences. That's what differentiates 1% from others. Jim Rohn said, formal education will make you the living, but self-education will make you a fortune. We have all heard these kind of quotes. Yes, no, maybe. What we don't understand is the magnitude of these quotes. One word which is known to everyone, every leader will talk about that one word, and that one word is learning. Yes, no, maybe? Everyone is talking about it. But when I researched further, I found out learning has a different dimension for these leaders. These leaders are like building blocks. They are always have something running in their mind. When they are meeting you, they are like collecting a block from your experience and adding to their reservoir. Whenever required, they will place it somewhere and it will get connected. You must have worked with some senior leaders. Yes, no? You must have seen them working like this. Yes, no? Whenever they go to meet somebody, they will say, what did you learn? Hi, Mike, what did you learn from this experience? Hi, Roshan, what did you learn from that experience? They are constantly learning. But when they use the word learning, they are actually pretty serious about it. It's a goal. It's Suman Saraf, who was the technical co-founder of Solid Core. I asked him and interviewed him for 1 hour, but that actually interview went on for 2 hours because I was getting so many beautiful insights. He said, Vikas, if I have done a fabulous work in my day, but if I have not read a book, I feel incomplete at the end of a day. I have delivered, but I have not become a more knowledgeable person. And that's what he said. Second thing that he mentioned, if you read the same book twice, you will get different insight because reading and learning is an exponential curve. What you are having an existing knowledge, when you are adding a new knowledge, it will combine with your existing knowledge, existing philosophies, existing skills, and everything will start changing. So there is this magnitude of effect that is possible when you are taking on that activity. Another example. When we talk about frozen water, especially if you want to go party, this thing might come to your mind, right? Right? Yes, no, maybe? Right? But frozen water could be this one as well, iceberg. Yes, no? What I'm seeing, whenever a senior leader will come on stage and will say, guys, focus on your learning, become a better person, he or she will just mention that one statement. But in their mind, the magnitude of that learning is learning iceberg. They actually mean a lot about learning. It's like an existential crisis that what do you actually know about that thing? But for most people who are sitting in the audience, usually they will visualize a learning ice cube. Yeah, I know learning. Yeah, I have also attended a Udemy course some 3 months ago. I'm also learning. You can't compare leaders learning iceberg with ice cube. You can't just compare. If you want to transform, because as you are moving up in the hierarchy, there will be actually very few training sessions. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. At the lower level, you are given more trainings because there is specific work. As you are going up in the hierarchy, the time is less. The time is very precious. So only few engagements are possible. And also expectations are even higher. Have you experienced this by show of your hand? Have you experienced this? Yeah, expectations are going even higher. You have to develop skills and knowledge just like that. Oh, what about this new industry? Shall we explore this new industry? And the magnitude of that word, let's explore this new industry. You have to know a lot about that industry. Learning iceberg. So learning is just word. You also have to look about the magnitude of that word. Not just the word, magnitude of that word. It's clear? Any questions so far before I move forward? There should be one question. I can't believe that so far no question has come to your mind. A personal thought, what has remained, any one thought that has remained in your mind? Anybody would like to share by show of your hand? Yeah. Take the mic to that person. Again, the energy is concentrated in this side, right? You can take the mic because the recording is going on.
What I'm so far, it's on?
Yeah.
So far, the trajectory, whatever we have discussed, I see a lot of pressure is building. So I think you might be covering how to ease that also. If we take that much of stress and everything, then means staying there and get motivation and all that, it becomes very. So I see a pressure building on 1%.
Yep.
So how we ease it?
Oh, thanks, Cam, for asking that question. How to ease the pressure that is building up? What is the pressure? The root of that. You talked about hiking, right? Going up. When you started, or when you see someone starting right now, is it ease for them or it's a pressure for something pressure? What is it? Pressure? But now is it a pressure for you?
I've seen some of people coming out after 1 kilometer also.
Some of them coming after 1 kilometer, but those are still the beginners. I'm saying for a professional person, is it still the same pressure on same activity? May not be.
If it is new hike, yes. If it is
a new hike, then
it is pressure.
If it is an old hike, it's not the pressure.
No,
but the same activity is a pressure for someone else.
Yes.
The same activity is not a pressure for someone who has the experience.
So.
But same activity is having a pressure for someone who is new to things. The day you started, there was many things that you were pressured about when you started your career. But for now, it's like this for you. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, it's easy. We know that this will happen. We know that that path will follow. So how to release the pressure is to become a better person.
I got your point, and it's more about practice and getting ingrained in your your being.
And that's a journey. That's a conscious choice that we have taken. People say that the journey up is not comfortable, and I totally agree, because the top 1% people are actually comfortable while being uncomfortable. They want to be in that zone where they are uncomfortable, and that's what they enjoy. If you put them in a mundane work, outside it may seem like they are comfortable, but they are not comfortable inside. Hey, I'm not born for this kind of work, right? You are the selected ones, you are the chosen ones. Your manager selected you, some senior leader selected you, that's why you are in this room. The 1% of HP is in this room. Just imagine the potential of you being here. Just imagine what company is investing. It's not just in terms of money, but taking people out of their work, doing the certain activities. A lot of investment is happening on you. Why? How you can move that journey upward comfortably. And how you can make it comfortable is by developing those skills very quickly. If certain expectations are there, if you build, that's why we have to act like 1%. We can't go to that mindset of, okay, after 3 months I'll learn a new course, I'll watch a course and develop my skills. It's no more possible. You have to be very agile. There is a book, some business plan on the back of the napkin paper. While you are driving, you build the business plan. We need that kind of agile people. We don't want people that I'm attending a business plan presentation or workshop for 6 months, then I'll try doing it. The world is changing, especially for 1%. Yeah? Thanks, Cam. Thanks for asking that question. Now, there is one more, quite a famous story, an ancient one from India, Eklavya. There was this tribal boy who wanted, yeah? Oh, sorry, I missed your question. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I have a question on the quadrants Q1 and Q4. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the mid popularity, right?
Yeah.
To stay on that, right? So, but mid popularity or high popularity, right? It's a relative progression, right? And it happens naturally, right? Are you talking about a mindset or the transformation from mid to high? You stay on mid. So where are you concentrating there?
Okay, thanks for asking that question. When I'm talking about mid popularity, so we are only focusing on the popularity angle, right? We are not talking about the performance so far. Now, on the popularity side, before I started, someone was telling about that internal portal where you have to put all your information, what project that you have done, what skill set you have, what certification you have gone through. Yes? You have that career portal. Imagine I have done certain things, but I have not put in on that portal. Will somebody who is trying to find me will be able to find me? No, because I have not put in my information on that portal. So what I'm saying here is people, sometimes there are people in the lower bottom of Q4 quadrant, they are so focused on that high work, the high performance work, but they forget to tell it to anyone else. You must have seen people like some scientists, I call them scientist kind of people, right? They are so engrossed in their work, but they don't tell anyone that I know this, I have done this. Have you seen such people, right? They are rare, but you must have seen such people, right? I'm just saying avoid that position.
No, you're talking about low and mid. I'm talking about mid and high.
Yeah. So from mid to high, if my team is knowing about me, if my department is knowing about me, how I can go further high? To go further high, I can build rapport with the senior leaders. Most big companies are having open door policy. I think same is true with HP as well. Yes, no? Yes. Just imagine there is someone in HP who is working on a very critical project, and you are from similar department or similar skill set. He or she has written a very interesting blog. What if you read that blog, understand what is written there, perform what is written there, and write an email to that person that, okay, thanks, I've got this information from your blog. If there is an extended opportunity, I would love to work with you. Is it possible? Is it possible? Yes, no? And that person is actually the Q1 leader. Just imagine if that person is Q1 leader. Are you actually increasing your popularity? Yes, no? Yes. Those are the ways to go from mid to high.
First, what was your recommendation? So you were staying on a secret Q4, right?
So what I say, this quadrant is expanding in an infinity manner. So what is your current target? You get to there. So when I tell people, I suggest them this thing. I suggest them this thing, wherever you are, wherever you want to go, you have two options. One, you keep on increasing the performance, so you go deep into your work for next 5 years and then thinking that popularity will come. It doesn't work. Second, you start talking to so many people, but while the performance is not great, you will feel like a balloon, right? There are so many conversations, but there is no performance. The ideal approach is perform something, start communication. Perform something, start communication. Perform something, build popularity. Perform something, build popularity. So what I'm saying here is, when you will reach Q1 here, you feel now I'm Q1. Vikas said that, okay, Vikas system, I'm a Q1 person. My friend, the world is not limited to this chart. If I draw a bigger chart, this will become Q4. Yes? Again, start his journey. Performance, popularity, performance, popularity. That's what I'm saying. Try to remain in Q4 through the mindset. Always have that mindset of connecting with people who are high on performance. Because if you get to the level of Q1, there are other side effects which may start coming up, which is the ego. Right? You must have worked with some people, Q1 people, hard to reach, don't respond that actively sometime, right? Because they are Q1, that ego kicks in. Q4 keeps you humble. In Sanskrit, we have a quote, Vidya dadati vinayam. As the knowledge grows, you even become more humble, right? Does it answer? Yeah, thanks. Thanks for asking
thanks.
the question. I was talking about the story from Eklavya. So Eklavya was a child. He was from a tribal community. He wanted to learn archery. He went to Guru Dronacharya and said that I want to learn archery. And Guru Dronacharya said, no, it can't be done. I only teaches the kids and sons of royal family. You are not from royal family. I can't teach you. So what he did, he made a statue of Guru Dronacharya and started practicing on his own. So imagine I'm learning in front of Guru Dronacharya. He is my guru. And starting mastering this art of archery. Years later, Guru Dronacharya was going through jungle. He heard the noise of barking dog, but soon that noise stopped coming. He went searching for it, what has happened to that dog. What he saw, that the dog's mouthful was of these arrows, but they were placed in such a manner that it was not hurting dog. He was not killed, there was no blood, just that those arrows were there just to keep the mouth open so that dog does not bark. Now, being the teacher of archery, Guru Dronacharya knew that this is the highest skill possible in archery. Who is having that skill? He was curious, that rate of 1% leaders. He was curious, who is having that skill? He found that boy. He said, okay, you are the one, yeah, I did this. Who is your guru? In ancient time, people used to ask, who is your guru? Who has taught you this skill? And he said, you are my guru. And he was amazed. Then he told the whole story that I came and you did not teach me. In India and in this Asian world where we have stories of Mahabharata and Ramayana, Eklavya is a symbol of self-education and self-learning. You talk to anyone from the Asian side, especially the Indian continent, and they know this story of Eklavya. We have heard the story. But how many of you have imbibed that story within you? We have heard the story. How many of you have imbibed the story? The third secret to become the top 1% is self-learning. If you look at the stories of these top 1% people, there is a learning with which you need an active presence of the person who is talking to you. But what if I develop that knowledge from the books written by that person, by the videos already completed by that person, and then I go and talk to that person? That's a power of self-learning. How much are you exploring that power of self-learning? In my life, it has played a crucial role. I was in Hansraj College, one of the reputed college in India. When I just joined the college, I was not coming from computer science background. I joined Bachelor in Science in Computer Science. There were other students who have studied computer science in their school as well. I felt a little bit down, a little bit less of confidence that these people are already having an edge on me. It happens to us on a daily basis. Yes, no? Yes. We meet certain people, we feel that, okay, they are having an extra edge over me. So I had two options, just to live with that thought that these people are having extra edge on me, or do something. So during my next summer vacation, I took up the programming book and read half of the book on my own. It's like reading the book, whatever assignment was done, I completed that assignment. And within few months after that, I became one of the best programmer in my class. You can also apply self-learning today itself. You don't have to go to ask someone for each and everything. There are books, there are topics, there are videos, there is content written on each and everything. Yes, no, maybe. I know it is difficult. The problem with self-learning is you have to have certain other skills to make it happen. The first is self-motivation. When we are doing something, who will motivate me? We are not working with people, right? You need self-motivation. You need self-organization. You need self-planning, goal planning. This is my goal. This is what I want to develop myself. When all these things get aligned, then only self-learning happens. Why it is not happening to you? Because there is some weakness. It's like if we go to gym, we are not able to put the weight of say 10 kg, 20 kgs on the first day itself, right? So we will start with some basic exercise. The same way, if you really want to grow in your career, focus on the self-learning, the third secret from Vikas system. And if you are not able to do it now, start with 10-15 minutes. Take up an activity of 10-15 minutes and think that, okay, can I complete just this one? I have submitted research paper on this subject of self-learning, so there is a lot that I can share. Having said that, it is very important. If you are not applying self-learning in your growth, it is very difficult to compete with other people who are adopting self-learning to grow themselves. Yeah? Clear? Fourth secret, again the open secret. Everybody talks about reading books, yes? Yeah? How many of you are active book reader? Less than half of the room. You can look around, right? Less than half. So we know it is important, but somehow we are not doing that activity because we are busy. I know. We all are busy. But there is a different perspective to book reading that I'm going to share it with you. It's not just book reading for 1%. When they talk about book reading, I'll give you the example of a very interesting book, A Powerful Mind, The Self-Education of George Washington. Ariana Harrison, who did this research, she said, in A Powerful Mind, Harrison shows that Washington rose to meet those trials through a committed campaign of highly focused reading, educating himself on what he needed to do and how best he do it. So for example, if you are supposed to enter, say, okay, capture this new market. I was talking to a senior person in Abbott, the pharma company, and he said, whenever he is assigned a new market, he will first 2 or 3 books related to that market, right? There is an influence. As a leader, you want to create influence and respect, like you want to create that influence, right? Yes, no? You want to influence your team. What is the way to influence your team? Is through your knowledge. Imagine a new person coming. Imagine I am from hospitality industry, but my leader, who is the new joinee, is not from the hospitality industry. It is okay that he or she is not aware about hospitality. But what if that person, before coming to my team, read some 2 or 3 books on hospitality? Now that person is aware about the basic terminology. From the day one, he is talking the language which I have gained in my 10 years of experience. Won't it create a bigger impact? Yes, no? That's the power of self-learning and book reading. So what I say, people think that book reading is like, to give you another example, reading a recipe of a food, say how to cook pizza, reading a recipe and remembering it, learning it, cramming it is 99% job. What 1% do, they read the recipe, start applying the recipe in their life, and first they will definitely have the bad food cooked, but they'll keep on practicing it, and at the end they will get the best food out of it. And after doing everything, because of lack of words, what they will come on stage and say? Read books. But 99% will read the book the other way. And they think, okay, he said read books and I am reading books. For them, it's not reading books, my friends. For them, it is internalizing the books. It's not reading books, internalizing the books. If I'm reading a book, if there is a knowledge, that knowledge should get reflected in my behavior the very next day. If it is not happening, what is the benefit of reading the book? If that book is about developing a skill, that skill should get developed within me once I have read the book. Otherwise, what was the benefit of reading the book? Reading the book is not just an activity. The magnitude for top 1% is entirely different. So when you meet a top 1% leader next time, don't just ask, what do you read? Ask how you read, how you internalize that knowledge, how you put that knowledge into practice. That's what most important. Right? Clear? Any questions so far? The fifth is mastering abstract world. What is abstract world? If I ask you, the future is abstract or well-defined? Future is abstract or well-defined? So we should have learning techniques which are aligned with the future, which is abstract. The video learning as an activity is a well-defined activity. If I have the diet, so I call it learning diet. Like we have the eating diet, we have the learning diet, how you consume the content. Based on the requirement, if you want a quick answer, definitely go on YouTube and watch and find the answer. But if you want to develop a deep skill within yourself, you have to do something different. You have to go on reading. Reading is something which is a bridge between the well-defined world and the abstract world. Any questions so far? Sixth, complex problem solving. It may sound, I do complex. You are working on a complex assignment, but are you following the right practices to solve those problems? I say, doing the complex easily will make you world-class. The world-class professionals are completing. A world-class surgeon is known for doing the easy surgery or difficult surgeries. Difficult, right? A chartered accountant, easy work or the difficult work? World-class chartered accountant. A lawyer, easy cases or win difficult cases? In your profile, easy work or the difficult work? What defines you? Difficult work. So when you talk to this 1% leader network today also, talk about the most difficult thing that you have done, not the easiest thing that you have done. What you can do, the difficult thing that you can do easily will define you. So let's have a quick question. What we will do here, I'll test your understanding that how you currently solve a complex problem. So right now the problem is like this. Just give me a second. Okay, so there is a scooter with 3 tires, 2 tires on the bottom and 1 as a stepney. Each tire is having a constraint of running only 10 kilometers. That after 10 kilometers, you can't reuse that tire. Right? It's clear? You have 3 tires, 1 scooter which runs on 2 tires. Each tire is having a maximum capacity of running 10 kilometers. What is the maximum journey you can complete on this scooter? You have 1 minute. Again, go back to WhatsApp and write your answer. You have maximum 1 minute. Go back to your WhatsApp, type your answer. What is the maximum journey that you can complete on this scooter? Quick, time is running out. Just go out. Possible people are engaged 15 minutes over. 10 minutes. You already have the food. Okay, in the interest of time, let's go and see the chart. We can change the one wheel after 10 kilometers and go until petrol lasts. Who is the super motivated person? right? So we have different answer because people have said kilometers also, not just the number. That's why it's seemingly different. But majorly we are seeing 10 as the answer, yes? But the right answer is 15. And some of you know that answer. And that's what shows about the organization and my complex problem solving. When you are given an assignment, as per you, this is the best performance and best solution. But there is even a better solution. But somehow we are getting settled with the first obvious answer. The 10 is not the right answer. It is a common sense answer. Hey, I can't just run the scooter on just one wheel, so after 10 kilometers, it's no more. But you need complex problem solving skill. It was not problem solving, it was complex problem solving. You can change your tire after 5 kilometers and then the equation changes. Right? It's showing how your organization is working, what is your problem solving skill. And these are the questions that are asked in top ITs companies as an interview round to showcase that are you just limiting your thought process to the average, the obvious, or you are going higher. Is it clear? So complex problem solving, there are few other problems I can probably share on WhatsApp. I have your WhatsApp number, so I can share that part. And building your skills and delivering works are two different things. As I mentioned earlier, you are delivering your work on a daily basis, but you have to work on yourself. And the another secret is mentoring. Even with self-learning, you need a guiding force. Early in my career, when I wanted to start with global speaking, I watched a video, How to be a Global Speaker by Frederick Herren. I watched that video. I liked that video. Usually people will like, subscribe, add a comment. But I find the email ID of that person because he was from Q4 quadrant. I could see he's from Q4, so most likely he or she will read my email and will respond. I knew this. That's the power of secret top 1%. I was not writing email to Tony Robbins. I was writing email to Frederick Herren. I wrote him an email, and the quality of quadrant 4 people is knowledge. They appreciate people who are coming after knowledge, not just for quick fixes. I was not asking, get me a speaking gig. I wrote him an email. Hi, Frederick. This is what I learned from your first video. How can I learn more from you? He replied, watch 2 other videos. Just one-liner reply. I watched 2 other videos, jotted down the point. Hi, Frederick. These are the learning from my 2 other videos. How can I learn more from you? He said, read my website, professionalspeaking.com. From an IT engineering background, I created a list of all the blogs on his website. There were 108 blogs, and I completed all the 108 blogs in next 3 days. I read all the blogs in next 3 days, made my notes, wrote him an email. These are my notes from your 108 blogs on your website. I learned a lot. How can I learn more from you? He said, come to Singapore. We are having a convention of speakers. You will learn more of it. And that's where I am here at Singapore Convention in 2017. What you are doing to grow yourself, to learn from your mentors. I have seen these quadrant 4 people, in Sanskrit, there is a beautiful word called patrata. They will test your eligibility first, that is this person worth my time, spending my time? So they will give you a task. First read that book and then come to me. In 90% of the cases, people don't read the book and don't come back. If you would have read that book and gone back to these mentors, they can change your life like anything. And to give you another secret, I tell one should focus on quadrant 4. Even for finding the best mentors, one should focus on quadrant 4 mentors. But the secret is, I have seen in industry, there are times where the guru of quadrant 1 is in quadrant 4. The guru of quadrant 1, the mentor of quadrant 1 leader is in quadrant 4. What if you are directly getting engaged with this person and this person understands your value and he or she write one line of statement to the quadrant 1 person, I think this person has some potential, just test it. And because the quadrant 1 person knows that my guru only can identify the diamonds, if he is writing that he is the best, I should test him. Just imagine how your life can change. And that's why these top 1% leaders have changed their life. They were working with you in earlier days, but you see, I don't know what has happened in that 3-4 years. Now he has gone to great height. What has happened? They applied all the secret that I've shared with you in a different manner. You know the word learning. They have changed the magnitude of that learning to make it learning iceberg. So what I'm saying here, the same office activity that you are going to do tomorrow, it can be delivered with your existing way of working. But if you start understanding what is my development engine, what am I developing my skills and knowledge out of this, it will improve your performance by 10%. If you start applying all the learning iceberg, the different techniques, further 10%. If you apply the self-learning, the Eklavyaism, further 10 times. Book mastery, if you can read those books through books, further 10. Abstract world, another 10%. Problems 10 times, not 10%, 10 times. Complex problem solving 10 times, and then you have a world-class mentor, the secret top 1%. Just imagine the same activity, the performance outcome is different. And that's what these top 1% leaders are doing differently. Seemingly, they are coming to the office the way we come, but they are becoming the different person, which is different from others. So quickly, I'll cover a few more points as we are running out of time, right? But you have my WhatsApp number. I'll share you the details, and I'll share my other programs as well, so that we remain connected, right? And just a quick approval. Is there anyone who is not willing to get captured in the video? Because I understood that there was constraint that we can't capture the videos. We have not taken the permission. But I think all of you should be fine with it. Is there anyone who can raise the hand so that I ask my camera person to avoid that person in the further filming or probably in the editing? You can raise your hand so that we can remove now. Yeah, one. Can you focus more on me? Definitely, you can get the, anyone? So I think in the room there is no objection, right? So we can use it for our marketing material. Thanks for it. I'll quickly define what differentiates the behavior of 99% from 1%. When given a complex problem, 99% first answer is, it can't be done. It's too complex. You must have heard this answer. But 1% will say, let's try. At least come back. I'll come back with some data point. Let me explore, and then only I can say. If you're talking about the work delivery, these 99% are always dependent on somebody. Hey, I need that person's help, that one's help, otherwise I can't do it. This work delivery of the 1% is independent. Hey, I can do it on my own. If required, I need little bit guidance, but I can do it on my own. New skill requirement. There is new skill that you have to learn. 99%. I need a full-fledged program. Then only I can deliver that skill. 1%, I'm agile. I'll apply self-learning. I'll do it on my own. Right? Have you seen this happening in your office as well? Yes, no? That's why I'm calling them open secret and knowledge sharing. For 99%, it is partial. One of the critical difference in 99% and 1%. Because 99% of the people are not developing their knowledge on the daily basis. They think that what they know is their existence. If I share the full, this person will know more than me. Work will not get to me, right? But for the 1%, they share the full knowledge because they are reinventing themselves at such a fast pace. They know, I have more to learn. I have more things to grow. I've seen this thing happening again and again. Challenges. The first and foremost challenge which is faced by 1% is the imposter syndrome. Anybody who has this feeling of imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is, I'm not good enough. I'm assigned work, I'm not good enough. But I'm just telling you, I've created a separate quadrant. I'm here till end of the day today, so I can discuss it more and have a one-on-one conversation with people who are interested and going through imposter syndrome. But it's actually better than knowing nothing. When you start knowing something, then you got to know, okay, there is so much to learn, and you start feeling of imposter syndrome. But which means you have known better now. People who don't know much, they don't have imposter syndrome. It's only the people who have started their learning journey, 1% journey, they start seeing these people and they say that, okay, I have so much to learn. So you are actually in a good shape. Though it feels like that I'm in a bad shape, but having an imposter syndrome is the first step towards becoming top 1%. There are certain advanced strategies as well, where you can focus on high value zone. I'll just cover one part, which is high value zone. Imagine what is high value zone, high growth area for you. There must be some objective, 2-3 years objective of HP, right? We want to achieve these goals. What if you align your goals with the HP's 2 years goal? Now, if you do even a small level activity in that area, you will get recognition. Yes, no, maybe. These are the principle how the organization work. You will get immediate visibility. While in corporate, I found out, when you want to build visibility, somebody asked that how to build the visibility. I say that do something which your manager can talk about to his or her manager. Do something which your manager can talk about his or her manager. Think from their perspective. What is important in the organization? What is my organization goal? And things will start changing. So you can write your high value zone, what is the organizational goal for HP in 2-3 years, and how you can align your goals with HP goals. And if you start doing certain small activities, okay, I have done this course, I have done this, developed this app, I have done this new research, share with them, and it will start growing. I think you have already gone through the personal branding, so we can skip that part, that while you are having a corporate brand, you are having a personal brand and you are a brand. When you go outside, people will say, this is the person who is from HP. If you do good about it, it will build the rapport for the company. If you do something bad, they will say, see the people from HP, they are like this. Right? This is what the importance of a brand. You are the brand. And last, you have to change your orbit. What is changing your orbit? People say hard works, truthfulness, and you can grow in your career. But what I found out was, if you really want to change your orbit, if you want to grow, you have to move in a different manner. You have to level up your games every year, every 6 months. Then only you can change your orbit. And big businesses got successful only because they change their orbit, they become next big thing. What is your next orbit? You are working in certain profile, you are working in certain department. There is slight progression that can happen, but I am not talking about slight progression. How you can change your orbit, that will define your thing, and you have to have a different mindset. So last is your strategic action. Just think of one strategic action that you are going to do today. Just one action. That starting today, I commit myself that I will start doing this thing. Just one action. I'm not talking about, even if you say reading books, don't say reading books. I will start reading 10 pages from book. I will start reading 1 page from that book. Just write that smallest possible action, but make sure that you commit to it. You have a group formed within this team, right? You have a Teams chat group. If you have the courage, go on that team chat and say that from today I'll start doing this thing. So that you have accountability partner within your group. You can talk to them. What is your accountability? And work with them. Am I completing that task at least for 10 days? Are you doing it? Because my friends, there is a Sanskrit shlok with which I'll end this session today. Na aksharam mantra hitam. There is no letter which cannot perform the role of mantra. Na moolam na aushadim. There is no root, plant roots. In Ayurveda, the plant roots are used as medicine. There is no plant's root which cannot be used as a medicine. Ayogyam purusham na asti. There is no person who is useless. Yojakas tatra durbalam. Their proper utilization is rare. You have to utilize your potential, your performance in such a manner that you can become the top 1%. So what I just want to share with you, quickly shake the hand with somebody and just say, you can become top 1%. Shake hand with somebody. Even if it sounds funny, shake hand. You can become top 1%. And now, we can all stand up. Before we go out for the lunch, we can all stand up and show the enthusiasm, make the world understand that, okay, we want to become 1% by, again, the same kind of clapping that which we started. Can we go a bit higher? We can shout if we want to. Yes? How many of you? Is it the best? Can we increase it? Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, team. Thank you, Adrian, for making me share my insights with your team. Thank you very much. I'm available here for any question. Here are my contact details. You can get in touch with me. Thanks, Adrian. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Vikas.